Okay. Hello, everyone. Go ahead and leave the video a like if you wouldn't mind. I see that Steph is asking if there's a good number to call because she's been trying all day. The number that I usually call is 833-978-2511. You're going to listen to that really long intro message and then quickly hit 134. Also, Sundays and Mondays are going to be the busiest days to call the EDD since Sunday's certification day, and Monday people are still trying to call who didn't get through after they certified. So if you can avoid calling Sunday and Monday, that could possibly help. And then again, I normally call between 8 a.m. and 8:15. I don't call at noon. I find that they're generally at lunch by then. And then I also don't try calling after 6 p.m. because by that point, the queue to actually hold and speak to someone before they close at 8 is going to be full. Also, before I start taking any more questions, this is a sponsored video by The Coldest Water, and it's not linked yet, but it will be by the time we're done with this. In the description down below, you guys can use the code millions. You'll get 10% off of your entire order. They also do a weekly giveaway for a water bottle. So if you want one, you can enter the giveaway. Also, I think millions is the coolest promo code ever. So that's awesome. Hopefully if I work with brands again and there's a promo, like millions can always be my code. I also do hot yoga as a hobby. I'm not sure if I feel ready to go back to hot yoga right now, but I'm curious to test out this bottle in hot yoga because it's supposed to keep everything cold for up to 36 hours. And I did put like ice in there once and it lasted for like 3 days. Okay, enough about the water bottle and on to your questions. Anyway, I'm excited to work with them because I actually wanted that water bottle. Angel Sirs is saying, no, there's not a good number to call the EDD, which unfortunately is true. He says that is exhausted Fed Ed yesterday with a zero balance, already filed a new claim back in March. When should I expect the balance to go up? So if you already filed the new claim back in March, it sounds like you were denied if you're kept on Fed Ed. Also, if you've still been certifying and getting paid with no issues, it sounds like your claim is done with the review process if they needed to complete that with you. Normally, you're not going to see the claim balance go up until your next certification date, though. And sometimes it happens like right before you certify, but I feel like I've also seen it not go up until right after you certify. So you should be able to certify again in 2 weeks, and the claim balance should be updated by then, but I wouldn't expect to see it before then. Zoe says, I lost my place, and that means it's time to like the video. I just like barely tapped my mouse. Okay. On my determination of invalid claim letter, the final box that says this determination does not affect your claim for extended benefits is not checked. Do you know what this means for my extension? There's a long explanation about that, but it's not really going to affect your situation. So extended benefits is just Fed Ed. So you probably weren't on Fed Ed when you got that. Oh, I wonder if I have my letter. It just probably, so even though we think of these other programs as extensions, the only true extended benefits, remember California is the only state that calls that Fed Ed. Most other states call it EB, extended benefits. So that's going to be why that box isn't checked. That would only be checked if you were on Fed Ed already. If you were on PEUC and you're getting more weeks of PEUC, that box wouldn't be checked. So that's okay. Hello, Anthony. Steph is saying that she certified yesterday and it still says pending. So that's actually happening to a lot of claims right now. And people that did get through to the EDD, I'm seeing on that Facebook message board that I moderate on, they're saying that it's just taking longer to process this time. So technically the EDD always has 72 hours to get you paid. It's just normally much faster than that. Yes, it is cold, ice cold, Alfred. Anthony says, I certified. It took about 4 days on pending. Then it went to paid. Very strange. First time that ever happened to me. Yeah, and 4 days is a little bit long. 3 days, 72 hours should be the longest. Okay, Juan is saying certified week disqualified. So that can be a couple of things. It can be how you answered certification questions. But usually that would only go to pending, and then you might need a phone determination interview. So what I'm starting to see happen is when you're in the process of filing a new claim, sometimes it opens up like the other claim instead of the one you're supposed to be certifying on. So one will go to disqualified. But anytime it says disqualified, you are going to need to call the EDD to clear that up. Anthony says, I had reapplied for a new claim. He probably says some more. Oh, hi, Barbara. Thank you. I have been having a great day. I hope you are as well. Mike says, I'm on tier 2 PEUC and they still haven't loaded money into my account. What do I do? Has your balance hit 0 yet? Because they're not going to add more money to your claim until the balance on whatever extension you're on reaches 0. Now, if it did reach 0 already and you were one of the people that it was supposed to update by April 17th, now I'm hearing by this week it should update. Oh, thank you for the donation, Barbara. I'm going to be on the lookout for a question from you. I know that they said you're going to be having, I think, a review on your claim because of those wages, and I'm sorry. I hope they get it sorted out quickly. Okay, Shane says, I received payment for 2 weeks after refiling, and I haven't received info about extension, just what is happening. So if you're getting paid with no problem, I wouldn't worry about if you haven't received any information about the extensions. Again, what they're doing now, the new progression is you go from regular unemployment, then they're adding the 13-week PEUC extension, that very first one. Then after that hits 0, and you'll see the maximum benefits paid message, then they're adding the second PEUC extension that lasts 11 weeks. And then they're going to add this 29-week extension, but depending on where you are in your claim, you might not get those benefits for a full 29 weeks. It right now is only set up to take you through September 4th. Justine, you're welcome. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you guys, and I'm so sorry that you guys are still struggling with your unemployment claims. If you want to show your appreciation, please take a minute and like the video. Okay, Herbert says, my certification still is on pending and says 0. Should I call tomorrow? Yeah, I would go ahead and call tomorrow. They have said that the balances should update sometime this week, and the certifications have been pending longer this week, and I'm not sure why that is. Oh, Emily is in here. I think Emily said she wasn't going to make it tonight, but here she is. You wrote to EDD last week using the contact us under UI, and they replied. First, she's making a surprised emoji face too. First time ever since I have been sending messages there for a year and nothing, LOL. So it's always worth trying those 4 things, which is calling, using Ask EDD, using Contact Us, and then if none of those work, reaching out to your assembly member for help anytime that there's problems. And again, that's not linked yet in the description because I haven't written the description because I came straight from work to do this. So I'll write the description afterwards, and there'll be a link on how to reach your assembly member in the description of the video. Or if you want to pop out, look at one of the other videos of mine, it'll be in there as well. I'm going to call him CYW909 says, we need our extension. I know. I just visited one of my coworkers who's still furloughed, and she hasn't been able to pay her rent. She has lived in that apartment building for as long as I can remember, and this is the first time in this whole pandemic that she's not been able to pay her rent on time because of the delays with the EDD, and it's just crazy. Everybody needs their extension. There's a hashtag on Twitter that's trending. It's called Pay the Pending. And I see that there's a bunch of you in here, and I would love if you took a minute and liked the video. Okay, Carlos says, I was add more money to my EDD balance, but my year end was 329, and now I have 3 weeks pending. What do I have to do? So if you have not already, you do need to file a new claim. So this is really important. So even if you got the letter saying that the 29-week extension had been added to your claim automatically, and you see your claim balance increase, you still have to file a new claim once your benefit year is over. So, Carlos, it sounds like your benefit year is over and you need to file a new claim. If you've already filed a new claim and you're still pending, that's because once you file a new claim, it goes through the review process by a third party they're looking for potential fraud. And that process can take between 2 and 6 weeks. Although I am hearing more and more people report that it's not taking 6 weeks. So taking longer than 2, but between 3 and 4. So that could be why you're pending, one of those reasons. Jennifer says, certified yesterday for the 4th time after filing a new claim. I have a feeling there's more to that, Jennifer. Oh my goodness, Blue-Eyed Female, thank you. I see that you're in here moderating. She did like an hour and 45 minutes with me yesterday. And I know that you sent me a message on Instagram. I have not had a chance to read it because, like I said, I have come straight from work to do this live. So I'll touch base with you on Instagram after this. Marina says, I am within my benefit year, but exhausted regular UI in the beginning of February. Am I just waiting for them to roll over to the new extension? It's hard to say. My gut instinct is yes. But if you haven't been paid since February, that is an extremely long time to not be paid. So yes, they should just be rolling you over to the next extension. And if you just finished regular UI that first 26 weeks back in February, the first thing that you'll get is 13 weeks of PEUC. But that should have already happened. So you're definitely going to need to call them to find out why it hasn't. And I'm so sorry about that. Like, I'm never shaking my head at you guys. I'm never frustrated with you guys asking the same question. I'm frustrated that the EDD, like if I ever look disappointed or angry or mad, it's because I'm frustrated with the EDD, never at you guys. Well, unless you repeatedly spam your comment. If I miss your question, wait at least 15 minutes to type it out again. Okay, let's see here. Selena says, is there specific things I have to do for my taxes or will it be automatic? So for taxes, I mean, you really just need to file them. If you are talking about the $10,200 that's going to be forgiven, the IRS is automatically going to take care of that calculation and send you out an additional refund if you're owed an additional refund. Or if you owed the IRS, they'll send you back the difference between what you paid and what you should have paid. The only time that you would need to file an amended return, so you shouldn't need to do anything. And you do need to do your taxes to get the California $600 if you qualify for that, if you make less than $30,000. The only time that you would need to file an amended return is if by doing so, that would allow you to get the federal EITC tax credit, and then they do recommend filing an amendment return. But for the most part, you shouldn't have to. I see that Rich is stopping by to say hello. And I lost my place again like a jerk. Oh, Blue-Eyed Female's only going to be on for a little bit, I see. Okay, let's see here. Oh my goodness, and it's funny because Blue-Eyed Female said that my makeup looks good. All I'm wearing is some lip gloss. It's just good lighting, I think. Let's see here. Sorry, I lost my place. I'm looking for it. So you guys know it means like the video. I don't know how I lose my place so often, you guys. Okay, I'm almost there. Angel Sir says he was denied and had no issues. So that's good. Trina says, I can't get a hold of EDD and been waiting to speak to someone for 2 months. You really have to just dial non-stop. One time it took me 3 hours of just calling back to back to back, which is ridiculous. But that's what I had to do. And again, 833-978 2511. Listen to that long intro message, and then what you're going to do is quickly hit 134. That doesn't work every time because there's so many of us trying to call. And if you can avoid calling on Sunday or Monday, that's when their call volume is going to be the highest. So you might have better chances on like Tuesday through Saturday. And then don't call after 6 because they're going to be too full with people already holding to speak to a rep to get to your call. Rosalindo says, received a letter from the EDD that they said that they will schedule your hearing if you want to withdraw. Why do we need a hearing? So I'm not sure. So the question's a little bit broken up. There might be a question that they have. If it's an appeal, that's going to need to go through a judge. That would be what that would be about. That could be for lots of different reasons. You would probably need to call the EDD to find out what that is. Now, maybe sometimes you get a form to appeal, and you don't actually have to send it back. So call the EDD to get clarification on what that is and why they sent it to you. Okay, Linda says there was nothing to my phone interview. Had it today, all worked out. It really worried me. Linda, I'm so glad to hear that. That makes me very happy. And yeah, I'm glad you don't have to worry about that anymore. Blue-eyed females recommending there is another EDD number. I haven't had good luck with that one. It's the 800-300-5616 number. Some people do. I mean, it's really hard to get through to them. Hello, Kay. We were talking about my end date of 7/7/2019. Now that's a PUA or PEUC. Whatever, I forgot the name. But anyway, so that's when I'm supposed to refile in July, correct? Yes, as far as I know. Your claim, because it started in 2019, sometimes they're calling it a grandfathered claim or a parent claim. You shouldn't need to apply again until July, but of course, if there's ever any problems with your account, if you ever stay pending for more than 3 days, 72 hours, you'll need to call them, but you shouldn't need to file a new claim until July. Acme for Fun says, stated severance pay on the certification for 1 week and it's pending. Why? So that shouldn't be the reason. That's probably unrelated, even though it seems like it is related. The pending is normally going to be because your benefit year changed in between like 1 week and the next. It can be when they're switching you between programs, that kind of thing. And although I see that you said that you only 1 week is pending, so not the other one, but sometimes you can be pending just because like the system hasn't caught up. And a lot of people are pending for longer than usual this week. And the EDD has just said that there's delays in processing this week. I don't know if the system's overwhelmed or what. Franco, thank you for the donation. I'm on FedEd and my last payment, I only got paid for 1 week and the other is pending. It's been 7 days now. My benefit year ended March 1st. Is it now time to call? So if you have not filed a new claim yet or called to see if you qualify for a new claim, and fingers crossed hoping that the rep bypasses officially making you file and like just removes the flag that says that your benefit year is approached, then yes, you need to call now. However, if you've already called, it can be pending because your claim is in review. It can also stay pending for a little bit longer than usual as they switch you between programs. But yeah, if it's been 7 days, that's definitely long enough that it's time to call and find out for sure why. NC, thank you for the donation. NC just wants to thank me for my advice, and the tips have helped him navigate the EDD and save so much time and stress. The EDD makes it so confusing. They really do. They really do. Like sometimes it gets hard for me to like keep track of too. And I try and really keep up on this. Thank you for the donation. But yeah, I never judge anybody for not having this stuff, because it's very, very confusing. Okay. I I can't pronounce this name. It's in a different language. It says, every time I try to call, they don't answer. Can you give me a good number? We've done that a couple times on this live already, but we'll do it again. The one that I use is 833-978-2511. And after the long intro message, quickly hit 134. And good luck getting through because it is hard. Alfred says, I have not received my 11-week PEUC extension since December 27th. So that's definitely a situation where you're going to need to do all 4 steps. You got to call the EDD, ask them why. Then you need to use Ask EDD. Then from your UI Online homepage, you need to use Contact Us. And you need to reach out to your assembly member. Something I forgot to say earlier is I always encourage you to do it by email. Don't just call them. That way you have a written trail of the question that you asked your assembly member to help with, and you have a written trail of their response to you. Diamond Pikachu. Hello from San Francisco. Hello from Los Angeles to San Francisco. Enrique says, I have a $13,000 claim balance and certified for 4 weeks now. Maybe next week I'll get them. Hopefully. So it sounds like you already filed for a new claim. If not, you definitely, and your benefit year is over, you definitely need to file a new claim, even if your claim balance increased once that benefit year ends. So it'll load up the 29 weeks, before your benefit year ends. But if your benefit year ends at any time, even if you have a claim balance, that's when you have to file a new claim, when the benefit year ends. Juan Selena says, certified week disqualified. What happens next? You've got to call them to find out why it was disqualified and then go from there. Evelyn says, I haven't received my 11-week extension. So you won't get those until your current balance hits 0. And if it has hit 0 and it hasn't been added, the EDD has said, even though they said it was going to be April 17th that people's claims would update, they're now saying this week, but I would call if you haven't received that yet, if you've gone through the first PEUC extension. Jay York says, no money yet since 3/21 on PEUC. I've called EDD all day and was not successful, but received an email back today from my assembly member, and they will now contact the EDD for me. Yeah, and oftentimes when you guys reach out to your assembly members, they often reply within 2 days, 48 hours, and sometimes they get your claim fixed within 4 days. So that's why a lot of times they're able to get some movement on your claims. Rantrios says, this April 10th and on pending. I'm hearing it's because of being the first week of a new quarter and has to be reviewed. Is this true? That's a loaded question. The EDD does do quarterly reviews. So even some people where they've been able to bypass officially filing for the new claim, your claim, you may at some point need to call again to get things moving. If your benefit year ended, so there's quarterly reviews and then there's like claim reviews. So some of the reps do say that there's quarterly reviews. So basically every 3 months, besides our benefit year, they're normally supposed to check to see if anything has changed in our work history. So yes, the quarterly review thing could be true, but it may not be the only issue. Like, I don't know how to explain that. I don't feel like I'm explaining that well. I would call him again and see if someone else can get it moving for you. Alazanjo says, 5/10 of 20 opened the claim. Current extension, Tier 2. Still have a balance on your claim. Certified for 1 week only. Do I need to refile? Thank you. Okay, so on yours, you can't file a new claim until 5 days before your benefit year. Now, 5/10 is when you opened it. So it's actually going to be a few days before that when your claim year ends. Let's see. So May 20th, your claim this year will end May 15th because they always end on a Saturday, like the Saturday before you filed. So you can file, oh no, wait, May 10th. Sorry. Oops. Okay, May 10th. So your claim is going to expire May 8th of this year. So 5 days before that would be May 3rd. On May 3rd, you can file a new claim. This April 10th thing where a lot of people got paid for 1 week and see the second week is NA. That happened because it's hard to explain, but I can do a better job this time. The 1 week paid, the second week in A, and we're the only being able to certify for 1 week. There is some old code in the computers where there was a phase out period for some of the PEUC extensions. Now that went away. They don't phase out anymore, but the programming that said to the computers like, hey, all of this phases out by April 10th made it so that you could certify for April 10th, but then the second week is pending while they add the new extensions. But you should be able to certify again next week, and then you would be able to certify for the week ending this Saturday, which would have been 4/17, and for next Saturday, 4/24, when you certify on 4/25. Okay, I hope that made sense. Oh, blue-eyed female got through to the EDD about an hour ago. Was showing pending for about a month. The guy removed the pending status and pushed the payment through. That is awesome. Did they say why it was pending for 4 weeks? I'm really curious about that. Zoe, you're welcome. Lunas says, I called at 8:02 and my call didn't go through. Do you know what's going on? They're just really busy. And I mean, me and Jenny and everybody, we're all saying call between 8 and 8:15. I used to not even recommend people call when they first open because I think that is when a lot of people call. But really the only bad times it's always a bad time to call, but the really bad time seems to be at noon and then also at 6, because even if you get through, I would say you're probably not going to make it through the whole time to get to talk to a rep before they close at 8, because the line of people already waiting is going to be too long. Max, what is really happening with EDD? We need the truth and our money. It's just really old computers. And I gave this analogy, let's say, this is actually happening to my friend. Let's say your check engine light comes on, right? Because the EDD has known that the computers are really bad for a long time, but your check engine light comes on. You don't have the money to fix it. So you drive a little bit further, just hoping everything's okay. And the light goes off and you don't think about it anymore. And then your check engine light comes back on and you really have to fix it, but you still don't have the money to fix it. So that's kind of what happened. We're the check engine light. We really need the money, but the EDD was never given the money to properly upgrade their computer systems. And so now they're trying to catch up and get the car maintenance done on their computers, on our claims. And we're the check engine light, and we can't drive because they haven't fixed it. But even though they knew there was a problem, they were never given the money by the government to fix it. So, they weren't able to. So that's what's really going on with the EDD. Blue-eyed female. Oh, yep. Marina says, I have exhausted my regular unemployment, but I was never rolled over into PEUC. I got a letter saying they would roll me over if I qualify, but now it's been 2 months, still within my benefit year. So they were supposed to complete that all by April 17th at the latest. Now they're saying sometime this week, but I would definitely follow up with a call and figure out what the heck is going on, and probably your assembly member on that one, and the contact us and the ask EDD. Andrew says 24 hours I hope it's not 24 pending payments. If it is, I hope you're just saying 24 hours and your payment's still pending, like a day. If you really have 24 pending payments, that is a whole lot. You've got to do those 4 steps. You've got to call, find out why, find out what they tell you. Use Ask EDD, use Contact Us, and reach out to your assembly member. I don't know how you guys are making it. I feel like I'm pretty good with money. I couldn't make it 24 weeks with no payments. Rick says, how do I get paid for the last 2 weeks of March? Those 4 steps that I just said. Call, Ask EDD, Contact Us, and reach out to your assembly member. You guys are helping each other in the comments. I love it. And I'm about the 6:08 timestamp. So I'm about 22 minutes behind on these. If I don't get to your question, I'm really sorry. Hopefully when I answer someone else's question, I will also answer the question that you have. AH says, my benefit year end was 3/15 and last certified yesterday. Now there's a message saying my claim is expired. An agent said that I didn't qualify, but qualified for the extension. Should I wait? Is it just that standard message, like the one that we're all getting? Or is it one with a link to file a new claim? I was actually going to make a video about this. If a rep told you that you don't need to reapply and that the extension would be added, you should be able to trust them. However, it's these EDD reps. And so I don't know if they actually did the right thing on your claim or not. If you're pending, this is what I would do. I would continue to certify and get paid until it gets stuck on pending. And then once it's stuck on pending, that's when you're going to want to call. Oscar says, I certified yesterday and finally got paid my 5 weeks pending. So that's great news. Thank you for sharing the good news. I know Alfred's saying 24 weeks too. I feel the same exact way. Eureka says, how do I go from every week to having to recertify on the 25th? I'm not sure the question. Are you one of those people that is certifying every week? I've never figured out why that is. I don't think Jenny has either. Between the two of us, you figure one of us would figure that out. But now you're on the 25th. Most people certify every 2 weeks. So if you're on the 2-week cycle again, that's kind of the normal cycle. Or are you asking because you just certified this last week and now you're certifying again on the 25th? So there was this kind of old programming left in the computer systems that the computers thought the programs were phasing out and ending April 10th. They didn't end. And so some people, even though they certified yesterday, they have 1 week that says paid and the other week says NA. And so then they're going to certify again this coming Sunday, the 25th, and that will allow them to certify for 2 weeks, the week ending for 17 and the week ending for 24. Okay. Rentria says, I'm hearing April 10th certification is pending because it's the first week of a new quarter and it has to go on review. Oh, I read that one. Yes, there is something to that, but every claim doesn't go through the quarterly review. So I'm not sure how that works. And that's separate from the new claim reviews. Jose says, what do they ask when you reapply? Here's the big thing and why I recommend calling. If you call and you haven't worked at all, make sure to say something to the effect of, hi, my benefit year is ending. I'm wondering, do I really need to file a new claim? I know I'm not going to qualify because I haven't worked at all since I first filed my claim last year. And that should trigger them to be like, oh, this person's claim is going to be denied. And if you get a good rep, they should be able to bypass having you officially file a new claim. And from there, they're going to bypass it, the filing a new claim, and then your claim wouldn't go through review. So that's why I recommend calling instead of filing yourself online. But if you reapply, if you use file a new claim, or if the rep helps you file a new claim because they say you have to when you call, it's really just the same questions that they asked when you first filed for unemployment benefits. Latoya says, no payment for 5 weeks. Then it said not paid. You're going to have to call them to find out why that is. Letty says, I certified yesterday, Sunday at 1 a.m. through Telecert, and yesterday, Sunday at 11 p.m., funds were deposited into my account. Today, I received my notice that the 29 weeks extension was added. That's great. I do want to caution you, Letty, that once your benefit year ends, even though they've added the funds, you'll still need to file a new claim. Johnny Wick says, why is 410 still pending? I reapplied online right after my benefit year ended. It's been 8 days and still pending. Okay, so Johnny, since you filed online, your claim is definitely going to go through a third party for fraud review. So that's going to take 2 to 6 weeks. All right, guys, I'm going to drink water, the coldest water, and like the video while I take a drink of water, please. Barbara says, I'm still waiting on my interview date after 7 weeks. I've called over 125 times over the past 2 days. I did get through once and was on hold for 3 hours and 15 minutes and gave up. I emailed my senator. Also it's not there yet, but I'll put it in after the video, the Find Your Rep. You'll do the Find Your Rep link, and that'll take you to your assembly member who might be able to help. Saeed says, oh no, we can't read Saeed's. Blue-eyed female must have popped out. We gotta hide that. Whew. Oh dear. Okay. Oops. Stephanie says, everyone, I called today at 1 p.m. and got through right away. Rep solved my issue, went from pending to paid. That is great. David the Gemini says, I was disqualified for both weeks. Called this morning. Yes, like Shelly said, it was submitted under the new unapproved claim, and the rep said she'll move the weeks to my old claim, and she said it'll be 2 days. Yeah, so that's sometimes why it's disqualified, but you are going to have to call the rep so that they can put it on the right claim. So yeah, sometimes it's showing like a new claim and your old claim, so one claim will be disqualified. Cindy says, regular, reapplied online and called, said everything was all good, now stuck on pending for 410. Called and they said it was under review, then got affidavit of wages in mail, faxed the info to them next day, got the 1277 invalid claim notice. So that's actually fine. Don't worry about the invalid claim notice. When you get that, it just means that you're going to stay on your current extension, but all new claims, even if the new one was denied, it sends the entire claim into review, and you won't be able to get paid until that review process is complete. And that's going to take between 2 and 6 weeks to complete. Parth, thank you for the donation. You're saying new claim approved April 11th, but old claim week ending 4/10 is pending. 2 weeks left on the old claim from 4/11. Duplicate filing okay or new only? Do I open a new online account? Also new account, Bank of America. That's a lot of questions. Let's do the Bank of America one first because that's the easiest. You will not get a new Bank of America card. Your current Bank of America card is actually going to be good for 3 years. So heaven forbid we're still unemployed for 3 years. No matter how many times they make us file a new claim over that process, it's going to be the same Bank of America card unless you lose it. That was actually a big problem this time because people that had been unemployed 3 years ago tossed out that card, thought they were never going to need it again. And then when they applied back in 2020, they were loading the funds onto like these cards that people had for sure tossed out. So hang on to your Bank of America EDD debit cards for 3 years. Don't toss those out until the card itself expires. So same card. Second, you say that a new claim is approved. So now, but you're also asking, do I open a new account online? No, if you already filed a new claim and it was approved, you don't want to do that again. If you're getting like that message about filing a new claim, that's just on everybody's EDD page right now. It doesn't matter if your benefit year ends, doesn't matter if your PUA claim, when they don't have to refile, it's on everybody's claim right now. The old claim pending on 410, you're going to want to call them about that and find out why. It could be that the new claim is still in review, and that review process takes between 2 and 6 weeks. It doesn't matter about the claim balance in the old claim if you're approved for the new claim. So yeah, it won't even really let you file a duplicate claim. So I don't recommend even trying that. It'll say like you have an existing claim and you can't apply for a new one until your benefit year ends. Okay, and welcome new member Rosa. Okay, sorry. What am I doing? Lost my place. Like the video. Okay. Oh shoot. Okay. Yep. Yep, Abe BK says it's a lot of people still on pending. Yes, and the EDD actually told people this morning that the system was just kind of overloaded and people are staying pending from yesterday longer than usual. So if you're newly pending, it's been less than 72 hours, I would try not to worry about it too much. And then there are a lot of people that certified yesterday. 1 week went to paid, the week ending 410. And the second week says NA. That's a computer programming glitch. You should be able to certify again this coming Sunday, and that will include the weeks ending 417 and 424. Okay. So yeah, a lot of people are still pending. Some of you guys for a really long time. Albert says, I think I did reapply for new benefits because I got to do my ID.me. Does that mean that I was complete and that I do have a new claim? Not necessarily. It means that you filed a new claim, but you might not be approved for the new claim. But if not, that's okay. They'll just keep you on your existing claim. And it does sound, if you were just recently asked to do that, it does sound like you filed a new claim. And so now the new claim and the old claim will be in a review by a third party, and you won't be able to get paid until that review is complete. And yep, that can be a reason why people are pending too. They filed that new claim, but it's still in review. Bay Area says, I'm on tier 2, 11-week extension. Benefit year ends on May 24th with remaining balance left after April 10th. Phase out ended. What happened to my remaining balance? Will my certification on 425 be pending? It shouldn't. But it shouldn't be pending. And now, as long as you're unemployed, they actually should let you draw down the balances on all the PEUC extensions. So the only PEUC extension that you wouldn't be able to completely draw the balance down would be the third 29-week PEUC extension, because that is scheduled right now to end the week of September 4th. Stephanie says, I guess they were getting back from lunch. Hope everyone is able to get through too. Yeah, and called that the 833-978-2511 number. I'm going to read Sean's question and then I'll take the donation. And Sean's question is from the 612 timestamp. So I'm a full 30 minutes behind on questions. Sean got paid, has 2 weeks left till it hits 0, then on to a new claim and hopefully. You guys, Sean's saying he'll support me. I named the channel Shelly's Millions because I wanted to talk about finance. I had no clue that we would be talking about unemployment more than a year after all of this started, that the EDD would actually be getting worse instead of better. But I wanted, I bought a house. I want to share that with you guys. I want to share how I saved to buy a house. I want to give you guys a little home tour of my house is not that great. Here's even a flaw right there. We used to have the security bars on the windows. And there's where the security bar used to be. It pulled the paint off the wall. Also, I didn't choose this paint color. It came with the house. Too lazy to paint it myself, but it makes a good YouTube background. I hope lots of you go back to work, get great jobs, have great childcare, have great lives, but follow me on my journey to becoming a millionaire after all this mess is over. Thank you, Sean. Okay. Forrest, thank you for the donation, says, was unemployed, employed, then became unemployed again. First of all, I'm sorry about that. Reopened a claim, and 5 weeks later, and only see the reopen claim button on the home screen. Did the 4 steps. So have you been paid? Beyond those 4 steps, I don't have any magic solutions from getting through. Forrest, don't donate again. I'll be on the lookout for this in the regular chat. But so what did your assembly member tell you? What did the EDD tell you? How did Ask EDD respond? Did Contact Us respond? If they didn't, I would reach out to them again. The reopen claim button, that is supposed to be there for exactly that situation. The reopen claim button appears when you haven't certified on your claim for a while. So that happens when you're employed and then became unemployed again. But it shouldn't be 5, are you pending for 5 weeks? And yeah, if the reopen claim button is still there, that's an easy fix for the reps to fix. They should be able to just remove that and get you paid. Okay. Oops. Juliana, you're very welcome, and thank you for the donation. And what a beautiful, beautiful profile pic. Thank you very much. Don't go creep on her, though, you guys. Not that you would, but let's see here. Okay, Andrew says pending for 4 weeks, been pending for 4 days. Okay, so Andrew, is it 4 days or 4 weeks, or is it 4 weeks and 4 days? You got to do the 4 steps. You got to call the EDD. You got to use Ask EDD, contact us, and reach out to your assembly member to find out what's going on. But if you've already filed a new claim, it could just be that your claim is in review. But I do want to stress, I don't want anybody to just sit around and wait and say, well, my claim is just in review. Shelly said not to worry about it. Anytime, because there could be like multiple issues on your account. So I don't want you guys to just sit around thinking it's going to magically disappear. I do encourage you to call, especially if it's been a full 4 weeks, to find out what's going on and if there's anything the reps can do to help get you paid again. But your claim might just be in review if it's a new claim. Lacey says, my benefit year ended March 14th. Prior to that, my account went into pending. Since then, I've already reapplied. My phone interview is this Friday, since I've been pending since February 2nd. So that's good. And Lacey, I don't know if you're still in the chat or if you saw earlier, the phone interviews are pretty simple. They normally just want to know about the reason why you left your last employer, or they want to know the reason why you're not like back at work. It sometimes has to do with the certification question, the way you've answered it. So they're normally really simple and really fast. Okay, Anthony says, I applied for PUA on December 21st, 2020. Am I able to backdate my claim back to April? I've been rejected saying date falls outside of the backdating parameters, but I don't understand why. So on that December 21st, 2020 claim, I can't remember when the last time to backdate all the way through April of 2020 was. I want to say that the earliest you can backdate your claim is going to be the week starting December 6th of 2020. Although, since you applied on December 21st, I want to say that the backdating rule didn't go into effect until December 27th. So you might want to call and tell them, say, hey, I think that I applied for PUA benefits early enough that I can backdate all the way till April. And just find out, see what they say. There was a time recently, I think when the second stimulus package passed, that did say you can't backdate earlier than December 6th. But I think that didn't go into effect until December 27th. But the computers might not know that, so that might be something that a rep needs to help you with. That also might be something that an assembly member can help you with. So all 4 of those steps, call them, ask EDD, contact us, and the assembly member. I'm going to take a drink of the coldest water. And if you guys could like the video while I take a sip of water, I would appreciate it. And there's going to be a link in the video after. They do like a weekly giveaway, so you guys can enter that. And you guys can use the code MILLIONS to get 10% off of your entire order if you want to get a coldest water bottle. Juan says, how long did you have to wait after you got your invalid 1277 notice to get paid? Also, what other letter did you get in the mail? I'm getting a lot. I got a lot too. So Juan, my claim is interesting because I kind of started back to work at the exact same time that my benefit year was ending. So I wouldn't have gotten paid because I've made too much these last few weeks. So the review process takes between 2 and 6 weeks. So your claim could still be in review. That seems to be the timeline, 2 and 6 weeks. In terms of the letters I got, first I got the 1277 invalid claim letter, and that letter is going to take priority over any of the letters that come after that. So after that, I got the award letter, but I'm not going to get a new claim because I didn't work at all. Well, I worked very little, not enough to qualify for a new claim. Like I went in a couple days to do some random task and like check on the building while we were closed, but it was like 8 hours total, I want to say, 2 different days for 4 hours. So I did not qualify for a new claim. Even though I got the award letter after the 1277 notice. Then I got the notice about like, do you want checks or do you want an EDD debit card? Totally invalid. Now I'm getting like Cal Jobs stuff, and that's only like if you qualify for a new claim. So it's just all a bunch of standard stuff. But if you got the 1277 letter, they're going to keep you on the existing claim. And in your situation, I tend to think that that you are just in the review period. Oh, Juliana, thank you again. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for the donation. I promise I'm no angel, but thank you so much. Okay, let's see here. Where am I? Oh, yeah. If I would have read Anthony G's second question, I know that new PUA applications, it was December 27th, but you applied on December 21st. Yeah, so you're going to have to call and have them help you with that. Yeah, I don't know why it's not letting you backdate. My guess is that the computer's not realizing that you applied before that deadline. And reach out to your assembly member. Tell them, say, hey, I applied before the new regulations went into effect and I need to backdate my claim till April, and see if there's anything that they can do to help you with that. Lacey's behind on her rent. You guys make sure to communicate with your landlords. Try and give them something in writing that says that you're experiencing financial hardship due to COVID-19. Let them know when you expect to pay them again. I do recommend putting that in writing. You need to state in writing, if you need the eviction ban to apply to you guys, you do need to let your landlords know in writing that you're not able to pay rent due to COVID-19. There may be some other requirements, but I know that that's it at minimum. If you have a good relationship with your landlord, they verbally tell you that you want to wait. I always like to get stuff in writing. I don't trust people when they just say things verbally. And even with the EDD, they put in writing that claims would update by April 17th, and then they didn't. But I like to get stuff in writing. It really can help. So I recommend like communicating with your landlords in writing and try and get them to give you a letter back stating that they acknowledge that, and that like they're not going to evict you, or they're not going to charge you late charges, or whatever agreements you guys have, that you get that in writing for them. I'm very hesitant to take people at their words on things like that. I just like to get official stuff in writing. Okay, blue-eyed female, I hope that you are enjoying your dinner, and thank you for hopping on. Oh, Eureka says I was recertifying every week, and now it got me certifying on the 25th. So that's actually, the 2-week cycle is normal. So now one less thing you have to do every other Sunday. But yeah, you won't get paid until every other week now as well. But that's actually supposed to be the cycle you're on. When we reach benefit year end, how soon do we reapply? No more than 5 days before your benefit year ends. Don't do it any earlier than that. And I do still recommend calling them to help them do that. Brandon says, my claim has been stuck and pending for 4 weeks. When I called, they told me that I certified on an invalid claim. So they told me that they had to transfer the money over to the new claim. I'm still pending. I'm so sorry about that. It's possible that the new claim is in review. And hopefully, since it's been 4 weeks, shouldn't take more than 2 weeks to get cleared up. In your case, I know that you've already called, but I would probably recommend calling again and just making sure that the next rep tells you the same thing. I'm going to start skipping around in the comments because we're getting towards the end of the chat, and I do have to get going. I'll probably stay on a little bit late tonight, but not really late. Okay, Caesar's got a lot of questions. Uh-oh. except for where am I picking up? Okay. Okay, Juan says, thank you so much. I would oh, you guys do not have to donate any money. I want to wait, Jenny would never what? What are we talking about with Jenny? Anyway, you guys never have to donate money to get your questions answered. It does help the questions stand out. I sometimes see it easier. But I never want people to feel like they have to donate money. Okay. A rep told me I should still be getting paid when my claim is under review. We'll see this week when I certify. I was told the exact opposite, that while the claim's under review, that you will not get paid. But yes, please let me know on. But don't donate to let me know. Just let me know. Okay, well, I was going to read Caesar's, but I only see like part of Caesar's. It says, that's what I want to know after calling and talking to the reps. I'm still confused AF. And then he says, why am I on not paid? What did they tell you? Did they tell you why? Caesar, you're fine. Thank good Barbara that you wrote your assembly member. Proud of you and hope they can help you. Talk to the EDD reps, but you were confused. Caesar, after this, leave me like a long explanation where it's not all broken up in the chat of what's going on with your claim, where you can put it all together. I will be on the lookout for your comment on this video so I can try and help you. I might not be able to help you get paid, but I can at least hopefully help you figure out like what's going on with your claim. So just tell me the whole story in the comment after this video is not live anymore, and I'll respond there. Okay. Again, I'm skipping around. Denise says, oh, she's replying to Ramon. She's only able to certify 1 week. Still haven't been paid yet. Usually it hits by 9 p.m. Sunday night. So a lot of people on the Facebook message board that I moderate on, they reported that they called the EDD, got through, and that the EDD basically just said things are taking longer than normal to process this week. The EDD always has up to 72 hours. So if you're still pending, I'd give it up to 72 hours. Now, on the 1 week paid, second week in A, that's because the computer system, the programming thought that the phase out period for PEUC was ending April 10th. It did not. There's not a phase out period for PEUC anymore. So it might change your certification cycle. And if you're in A on that second week, you should be able to certify again this coming Sunday. And when you do, it's going to change your certification cycle, but you should be able to certify for 2 weeks this coming Sunday, the week ending 4/17 and the week ending 4/24. Private account says, please explain what not paid means. EDD changed my paid status to not paid. I'm literally going to Google it. And see what it says. That not paid can be a couple of reasons. Let's see. Claim status pending. Phone interview. Nope, that's not it. Hold on. Of course, it's not coming up. I know that they have the definition in like one of their FAQs. But normally, even if I find the reason like that it states, it's going to be something that's not going to go away on its own. So unfortunately, whatever the reason it's there is going to necessitate that you call them to get it switched. Okay, why do I have a pending or not paid status? Okay, so they're saying it could be for these three, that it can be basically how you're answering the certification questions. Are you able and available to work? If you said no, that'll cause it to do it. Earnings. If you earned too much, you might not be eligible for benefits, and so you would not be paid. And suitable work, if you said you refused any work when you certified, then it would say not paid, and they would have to schedule a phone interview. And lastly, if we need to confirm your eligibility, we will schedule a phone interview. I would just call them though and see what they say. Because also, like, there's definitely more reasons why a claim can be pending, like it's under review, but the not paid, I'm just not quite as sure on. Greg says, I certified 2 times on Sunday afternoon and Sunday night, totally confused. I'm confused also if you certified 2 times. Greg, for you too, leave me like the whole long story. I know you guys are limited on how many characters you can type into the chat, and I'm so sorry about that. I can't get to everybody's question, even in the comments. But Greg, if you type yours, I will make sure to respond to that as well. I really wish I could respond to everybody's. I am back at work. Ugh. Maybe I'll try and add another live. I know Jenny went live 3 times last week. I might need to do that also. Yeah, Martin, you're going to have to call. Yeah, call. Please let me know. Okay. James wants to know, can you go to a foreign country while on EDD in California? So is the EDD going to know? Probably not unless you tell them. But you are supposed to be able and available to accept full-time work each week. Now, I don't know, maybe the places you're applying would allow you to work remotely. So maybe you could accept a full-time job even if you're not in the state of California anymore. Or maybe you would get on a plane and come right back to California if the right job offer came along. So as long as you can truthfully answer the question that you're able and available to accept full-time work, then you should be able to get your benefits, even if you're not physically in the state of California. I do recommend being truthful though. If you're on vacay and you know you couldn't come back, or you know you wouldn't be able to start working remotely while you were on vacay, I don't know. But if you answer no, that you can't accept full-time work, then you're not going to get paid, or at minimum, you're going to be pending. But are they going to know that you're out of the country? Probably not. So, that's up to you on that. Caesar, I'm going to, okay, certified 411 and 412, maximum benefits paid and not paid. Talk to reps. They said they closed my case and reopened it. Stayed stuck on closed in the payment system. Call back in 2 weeks, they said. No, Caesar, I don't like that answer. I don't like that at all. They messed up your claim and now you have to wait 2 weeks and call back. That's definitely something you want to tell your assembly member. So again, I'll link that in the description below after this video. It's not there right now, but you for sure want to reach out to them and let them know what happened and see if they can help you. It sounds like the rep didn't even know what was going on and just like said something to get you off the phone, which I totally think they do, unfortunately. I wish that I didn't think that, but I do. You're welcome, Caesar. Rana says, does EDD contact your employer if your benefit ended and you refiled? Yes. Because it's exactly like filing a new claim. But by contact, they send your employer a letter, and it's the same letter that they would have sent to the EDD when you first filed a claim. However, your employer only has 10 business days to respond. Otherwise, the EDD automatically approves your claim. So if your employer, like most employers, guys, like I say, this is a boss, most employers do not even, first of all, most employers don't bother replying to those and fighting it. They certainly don't do it within the 10 days. And the reason why most employers aren't going to be like, no, they got fired instead of laid off, or like whatever reason your employer is not sending the form back, because it's either 92 or 97% of the cases, even if your employer says that you don't deserve the unemployment benefits, you would need to appeal that decision and say, yes, I do need the benefits. But it's either 92 or 97% of the cases, the EDD sides with you, the claimant. And I will tell you this, as a manager, I have fought someone claiming unemployment. I don't like admitting that to you guys, but it's true. Like, I like the place I work. I was trying to protect our financial things, and I thought they were telling tall tales, you guys. They had like a pattern of being very late to work, and after that, and after it was properly documented, we were like, hey, like, we have to let you go. Like, he was a nice person, but like super, super late and didn't even call, guys, didn't even call. So we fought it and said, no, they were let go for cause, for like repeatedly being tardy and not even calling about it. The EDD was still the guy. So we fought it and he fought it with an appeal. I had to go to like a little meeting and the EDD was like, well, he couldn't call you because his cell phone was dead and he was on the bus. And I was just like, I don't know. Whose cell phone dies on the beginning of their shift to work? On the way home, maybe. Oh, anyway. And it wasn't just that one time. It was like a lot. And it was documented. And they still gave him the benefits. So yes, your employer will get a letter, but most of the time, because employers don't want to go through that and fight it knowing that they're not going to win. All right. Caesar says, why is the dang robot talk so much when I call the 24/7 number? I hate it. It's like 3 minutes of talking before I can press 1, then 2. I don't know. Even on the non 24/7 hour, there is a lot of talking. Like, I wish that there was a way to bypass that. Monica V says, I called the EDD last week. They told me I needed to wait because my claim was under review. I have 6 weeks pending. So Monica, you are at the very end of that acceptable claim review time period. It's true that it takes between 2 and 6 weeks, but it really should not take any longer. And it never hurts to call again and get a second rep to tell you that, because, and you know, you guys, maybe some of you guys can start asking if you're calling anyway, say, and they tell you your claim's under review. Maybe the EDD has like a revised timeline, but my rep told me 6 weeks. But here's my line of thinking, right? Like, I'm always like trying to figure stuff out. With so many of us all hitting our benefit year end at the same time, maybe the reviews are taking even longer. But Monica V, you really, really should be at the tail end of it now. The only reason why I'm suggesting to call back again is just to make sure that there's not another underlying issue on your account that's causing it to be pending, because you can have like a lot of issues. All right, Caesar, what are we telling Martin not to do? What's Martin doing that we don't want him to do? Let me try and find this in the comments. Oh, Barbara, good night. You're welcome. Yes. Okay. What's Martin doing, guys? Can somebody tell me what Martin's doing that we're saying not to do? Okay. And welcome new member Alyssa. Okay. I'm going to do a couple more questions and then I've got to head out for the night. Okay. Chris is in California. Douglas. You guys are all thanking each other. I'm trying to figure out what people still needs. Screen Arts Media is saying the computer will automatically reject you if you say you're not looking. It's not supposed to, but it often does cause your claim to go pending if you say you're not looking for work. So hit yes that you're looking for work, but then if it gets to a screen where you're supposed to list the places that you actually looked for work, you can hit skip. The work search requirement is still currently waived right now in the state of California. Other states, as they reopen, are starting to bring back the work search requirement. But even in those states that are bringing it back, and I was starting to see reports of that in early April, they're still not going to make people list the places officially until May. So I'm not saying that we're going to have to do it in May. I'm saying that in California, I would expect that we would have about a month notice. Like, first, there would probably be an EDD news release that would say, hey, we're going to be bringing back the work search requirement starting such and such a date. But right now, it's still waived. Oh, hi, Margaret from Alabama. I don't know a lot about things in Alabama. But yes, here in California, keep certifying if you're able to, and also call them and find out what's going on. And not every state has assembly members. I didn't know that until I started making these videos. Politics is not my strong point. But your senator, your governor, your mayor, any political person, reach out to all of them and see if they can help you get paid. Juan says that he wishes I was a rep. I would feel bad though if like I couldn't help people on their claims. You guys have seen me get like all teary-eyed here. The EDD therapist, me and Jenny, therapists make good money. So I think so do some of those EDD people. Me and Jenny could do the EDD director's job and each take half of her salary and still get paid really good money. I don't know, Martin. What somebody was saying? Don't do something. Juan wants to know: do I know anybody that the claim went under review and already got the extension and are getting paid? Usually, everyone has bad news of claims under review. I do see people because I'm on that Facebook message board. It's like Unofficial Unemployment California. And a lot of people, there was even somebody in the chat earlier that said 5 weeks that were pending went to paid. I don't know if their claim was under review, but I am starting to see reports of people whose claims expired and they have gotten paid. Some of them in as little as 3 weeks. So yes. Okay, Jasmine says, California here, keep asking me to reopen a case that I've never touched. Yeah, I don't know why that is. So you're going to have to call Jasmine, and I'm sure you've already called, but ask them, say, is there anything? I'll talk about regular unemployment claims in a second, Jasmine, because I see you're asking that as well. You're going to have to call them to say, why is it asking me to reopen a claim that I never touched or what have you, or maybe it's a really old claim or something like that. And it keeps, say, is there anything that I can do to make sure that this reopen button doesn't pop up again unless it's actually supposed to? And find out what they tell you and ask them, say, why does this keep happening over and over again, and see what they tell you. And Jasmine, I would also recommend, using Ask EDD in addition to calling them, contact us and reaching out to your assembly member and being like, hey, what's going on? Like, I'm having to call all of these times. Why does this keep happening? And what can I do so that it doesn't happen again? Welcome, new member Chris. Well, I don't know if the fraud is slowing it down, but it's the fraud screening process that's slowing everything down. Okay, Chris, I think your question is going to be the last question of the day. And Chris says, reapplied, but while they reviewed, they approved a PEUC extension. I certified, but instead of the PEUC at $201 a week, it kicked me to the new claim at $71 a week. I emailed now pending for their response. Some of that cut off. Okay, so Chris, were you on Chris, respond right now. When you had to file a new claim, were you on a FedEd claim or were you still on PEUC? So Chris, before I give the rest of my answer, are you able to put that in the comments? When you filed a new claim, were you getting PEUC already, or were you FedEd? Because the answers are a little bit different for that. Anna G, you're on FedEd. You don't have the option to certify. Yes, that is a glitch, and the EDD has said it will be fixed by this week. Okay, Chris, extension tier 2 augmentation. What about the one right before that, like when your benefit year ended? Or actually, can you tell me when your benefit year ended? Because I see that they approved the PEUC extension, but so the ones before that, like what were they? Now, the first time the extension tier 2 was available was the week ending March 13th. So maybe go back. I don't know when your claim hit 0 or when your benefit year ended, but maybe try like a payment before March 13th. Can you tell me what program you were on right before you got extension tier 2 augmentation, which some of them are calling PEUY? Samuel, Chris was saying that to the one that asked if he should certify through the mail if he already did online. Caesar, I don't know why I just called you Chris because I was answering Chris's question too. Caesar, that is good advice. If you already certified online, don't send the form back in the mail. Okay. There should be something. So original certification usually means that's not a program type. Okay, Chris, I'll just give you both answers because hopefully that'll help other people that are watching the chat. And I'm going to remind those other people watching the live to please like the video before I give this answer. If you're on PEUC when your benefit year ended, even if your new benefit amount on your new claim is significantly lower, they are supposed to keep you on your existing claim and add the extensions to that claim before moving you to your new claim. It's a DNCP. I want to say I'm probably getting the acronyms wrong. It's like delayed, DCNP, delayed claim, new payment. I'm messing up the acronym there, but basically your new claim at the lower weekly benefit amount is not going to kick in until after you've run through all the extensions, if you're going from PEUC to what would have been the new claim. If you were on Fed Ed and then you were put, that's when your benefit year ended and you get a new lower weekly benefit amount. If it's going from Fed Ed to the new claim, unfortunately, they do give you the lower weekly benefit amount. Now, here's another crazy thing. Some of the reps, they thought they were trying to help us. And so they wanted to make sure that, and I don't know why it's a wacky amount, but they were trying to make sure there weren't gaps in the payment. And so some of us that were waiting on that, the PEUC Tier 2 augmentation, PEUY, they actually tried to put those people on PUA claims for a little bit just so that they wouldn't miss weeks. And then they got a much lower weekly benefit amount. Thank you, April. DNCP, delayed new claim payment. I think that's what it stands for. Oh, April, don't worry about the phone interview. Those are really pretty easy. It usually just asks why you're separated from your last employer, and or like sometimes it does have to do with how you're answering the certification questions. Childcare is sometimes tripping people up. I know that they're saying if it's a school closure, that's okay. So try and say a school closure versus didn't have childcare if you can and if that's true. And Chris, hopefully that answered your question. And I would call them also and tell them like, hey, because the $71 is lower than PUA. So even if they were trying to put you on PUA to help you out, like $71 is less than the minimum amount for even that type of program. So just call them and let them know what happened, and they should be able to fix you unless you went from Fed Ed to the new claim, and then unfortunately you would get the lower weekly benefit amount. One more question. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, Chris, your new claim probably is still under review since they haven't paid out yet. Chris, I don't think they're working from the office, so you have to find all of the reps' home addresses. And once I called a rep and they were answering from Kentucky. So you're not going to be able to knock on their door. Is calling an option? Yes, but it's incredibly hard to get through. I don't recommend calling on Sundays or Mondays. That's when the call volume's highest. Chris, I did not send you to go knock on anybody's door. 833-978 2511. Then quickly hit 134. All right, Freddie, what's your question? Oh, I see it, Freddie. You got paid all Fed Ed and benefit year ended January 31st. Filed a new claim, didn't qualify, got disqualification letter. My balance is still 0 and no updated benefit year end. They always say 2 days, 3 days, etc. for it to update. Okay, so I feel like you know what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say this. Call them again. Use the Ask EDD feature. Use the Contact Us feature and reach out to your local assembly member. I'm going to link that in the description of this video right after I end this live. And tell your assembly member what's going on. Oftentimes your assembly member will respond within 2 days, and sometimes they can get your claim fixed in as little as 4 days. Okay, and that really is going to be the last question for the night, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. And after the video, make sure to check out the link for the weekly giveaway for a coldest water bottle. And if you want your own coldest water bottle, you just want to order one, use the code MILLIONS to get 10% off your order. All right. Bye, you guys.